I'm Eric Loy, and welcome to Eric Loy Interviews. On this podcast, we talk with folks from the VTuber community on their channels, their talents, their stories, where they come from, and their plans for the future. We welcome Donathan to the podcast. Hi.
Hello.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. Please introduce yourself.
So yes, my name's Donathan, or Don Goobs, as you guys see on my channels. But I am the directionally challenged demon hunter that ended up falling for the demon empress.
Well, it works that way sometimes.
It was a very ironic story. So
Yeah, sometimes you just fall in the trap and you just go with it.
yeah, I'm just like, oh look, demon empress. I guess I'll follow her.
Yeah, that's how I got married. That's and still there today.
Mm-hmm.
When did you get started on VTubing, and why did you get started on VTubing?
So this July will be my third year as affiliate.
Mm.
But I mostly started the whole VTubing thing, I'd say 6 months after I got transferred to nights in my job.
Mm.
So it's like, at first I would just start streaming on YouTube and then transferred over to Twitch under PNG.
Yeah.
And then,
were you just kind of looking for a place to escape after your work, or was it something you wanted to do to entertain people online?
So my original reason for going down the VTubing route was mainly because I was part of a lot of VTuber community. So it's like, I first got introduced to Lost Paws, who would do a bunch of reviews on like anime and stuff, and from there I found like Nags21, and he would do like VTuber and anime reviews. So like, I would get a part of it. I'd get a part of his community, and I'd see like all these VTubers from like SSB Craft to Yami 7 Ways, and I'd see all these different kinds of VTubers, and I'd be like, this is like a cool bunch of people. I'm like, maybe I'd like to try my hand in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like how it all started there.
So was it a smooth entry? Were you comfortable right away, or did it take a little while?
So when I first started streaming, mainly because I was familiar with some of the people from Nags' community, I managed to pick up a friend group pretty quickly, especially when I came from SSB's stream, or we call her Bento. So a lot of my friend groups originated from there, and it just branched off.
So you were networking before you even had to network.
I was networking without realizing I was networking, and I'm like, huh, here I am.
Gosh, think of what would have happened if you'd have tried.
Oh my God. I'm like, I just need a job that gives me more free time, and let's see what happens.
Well, it's for folks who don't work night shifts, whether it's late in the day or overnight. Your entire life is different. How you have to live it. I work nights myself, and I worked overnights quite a bit when I was younger, and it definitely shifts everything around quite a bit. You look at 9 to 5 and wonder, how do people do that?
So it's like, with my job, I actually started off on the days team, and then after a promotion, they moved me into nights. So that's how I got swapped into the whole nights thing.
Yeah. It changes things a lot. You either you get things done in the morning, or you don't get things done.
Oh yeah, I definitely have those days, because it's like, it could be like a 10-hour shift. I go home and I'm like, oh God, save me. How am I going to function? And then next thing you know, I turn on stream and people are like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm probably on a sleeper's high right now.
I'm only sleeping, but enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
If I was streaming, that would pretty much be my whole entire thing. I'm napping, and then just have everybody do it whatever they want on there, and hopefully rack up money. But I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was just like, sorry. I'm just like, I'm on my last few brain cells before I knock out. So
Here, I'm donating them to you. Use them how you would like.
Yeah, yes, you appreciate my foolishness with me being silly, and hopefully you laugh from that.
Is it
It's very much what it is.
so? When you came on, were you able to get an audience pretty quickly? Because you
Ah,
already had
so
some
sorry,
connections.
sorry about that. So when I first started streaming, I had a pretty small group because when I started, I actually started off as a mute streamer
Mm.
because believe it or not, I was not comfortable using my voice at all.
Ah,
So pretty much what happened was when I moved to Twitch, I started doing an Elden Ring stream,
hmm.
and I did that thing silent for the first 5 streams,
Yeah.
maybe. Oh no, I finished Ghost of Tsushima first, then moved to Elden Ring,
Mm.
and then a little ways through, when more people were familiar with me, I started using my voice more, and people started recognizing, or what do you call it, following, because they're like, your voice is so cool, it stands out. And I'm like, really? I was felt
Yeah.
weird about my voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, well, people actually like hearing this thing. Yeah, okay.
I know. I'm just like, okay.
Where have you hidden this beautiful instrument?
I know. I'm just like, man.
Then you pull it out, and it's like a French horn with one of the buttons busted on it. You really want me to play this thing?
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Pretty much.
but it's again it does allow the follower, the chat, to um, get a little more into knowing you, or thinking they're knowing you. It's a little more personal if you can add that to it. Um,
Without a doubt.
yeah, and I imagine you caught that on pretty quick, and your followers did too. I mean, you're still doing this after a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it must be doing something for you.
Oh yeah. Like for me, when I started streaming, I'm like, okay, let's just practice speaking more, and
Yeah.
it just ended up going from there on out. So
so
I'd say I'm doing pretty good.
so yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of people, there's a lot of people I imagine are trying it and then enjoy it a little bit, and then it's not for them. And
Hmm.
they have either something changes in their life, or it just doesn't work out the way or they have a bad experience, uh,
Yeah.
and it's just not for them anymore. Have you had any of those crossroads moments?
Oh, without a doubt. It's like when you start streaming, you're always thinking like, what do I say? How do I keep people engaged? Am I funny?
Hmm.
Your brain kind of goes through a whole flurry of like self-questioning.
Right.
But when you have those thoughts, you'll probably experience it one day, maybe multiple days. But
Mhm.
if you enjoy doing what you do, sometimes you just gotta keep coming back. Like you'll have a bad day,
Hmm.
doesn't mean all streams will be bad days, right?
Right. Right. Right.
So
Or a bad
I
month,
think it's just
a bad
hmm.
decade. The next
so
the
so.
next decade will be okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Uh,
yeah.
but
Oh no.
it's finding that confidence, and then having the courage to step up when you don't have that confidence sometimes. Um,
Hmm.
and finding it. But has that ever been a problem for you, and getting in front of an audience where you had to really reach deep down and find the strength to go on stage, or to talk to people?
So when it comes to like talking with people, like if I know I'm in a casual like environment,
Hmm.
I'm like I could talk.
Hmm.
I could talk. But the minute people are like, oh yeah, do a presentation, my brain just like, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it is. There's a reason why when you go to these colleges, the community colleges and otherwise, business speaking is a different class than speech.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I
Yeah,
learned that the hard way a bunch
yeah.
of times.
You can't go up there and be um, just random and casual in business speak, and there's certain rules you have to follow. I hate all of them, but
Oh yeah.
but they're
I'm just like,
there.
let me be myself.
Yeah. Oh, I got to share a little story. I had one class in college that was a business speaking class, and I had
Mm.
already basically gotten the job I was looking for in radio, and I'm there just to finish the degree out. And I was working overnights, and the instructor knew that, and he would give me a break every once in a while for not showing up to class.
Mm.
But I also got on his good side because I would roast everybody else in the classroom.
That's awesome.
Well, it was fun. It was fun because I knew a lot of these people. I didn't like hate them or anything, or
Mm.
but and it was a he festered a dog eat dog type of thing where you're
Yeah.
so we have an interview set up. Learn how to do a job interview.
Mm.
And this guy who didn't pay much attention was the person I was supposed to interview. He hands me, you go in, you do the handshake thing, and sit down, and the
Yeah.
videotape's going for this. You turn in. He hands me a resume cover letter, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to be for a news reporter job
Mm.
in Buffalo, New York, or
Yeah.
actually Utica, New York. And I spent some time looking at it, and I tell him, it says, "Well, our paper's not very a big paper, so we have to have our writers do the editing for themselves before a copy goes on, and sometimes that's on a
Mm.
deadline. So I can see three typographical errors here on your cover sheet. If you, I'd like to see how you do in real time. So I'm going to hand this back to you, and if you could try to find those while we're doing the interview, I'd sure appreciate it."
Mm.
He looked like I hit
Oh.
him with the biggest cold fish in the world, and he was mine at that point.
Oh,
Come out, he goes,
boy, that.
he's like, "Why did you do that?" I go, "I want an A," and I got an A. And yeah, but it's very different. I mean, here you get a chance to have your personality shown in, and you hopefully get accepted for that personality. Do you get
Mm.
do you get that kind of feedback when you realize that people are tuning in specifically for yourself?
Yeah, like I've had people come back and I've actually gotten a few nice messages
Hmm.
from some people who are like, "Hey, I like your voice. Hey, I like the, the energy you bring. I just find sometimes you're pretty helpful, like calming me down or stuff like that." And I'm
some
like,
some
"Really? Okay, I didn't think of
yeah,
that."
I like the sometimes.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't think I've had anything negative yet.
Yeah. Well, that's good, and that's positive. And but not only that, but I mean, you sound like a pretty easygoing fella. And
Hmm.
coming on and doing these streams, um, has it become kind of an extension of yourself a little bit?
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Hmm.
Like even when I'm at work, a small part of me is just like, oh yeah, there's me at work and then there's me on stream.
Yeah. You get that
So,
kind of chance to expand on yourself and still have that little bit of anonymity.
oh yeah, like how would I put this? It's like I work, yeah, I do have the little bit of formal side of me, but it's like I try or not try, it's like I kind of feel more able to be animated
Mm,
on stream. So
yeah.
it's like you'll see like a goofy side just sneak out every now and then, and people are like, "You have like this deep voice." It's like, where'd this goofy high pitched voice come from?
Well, it just adds to the effectiveness of it when it's so different.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, without a doubt.
And I mean, they don't hear you walking around singing Frankie Valli songs. Wait,
I don't think anybody's caught me doing stuff like that yet. So,
that's that's your next idea for a stream is all falsetto music. Um, Falsetto karaoke. There you go. There's something that you could do. You can
oh,
you can take you can use that idea. Go ahead.
all right, I'll note that down in my little Zelda book right beside me.
I can hear you putting the big X over the top of
It's just like,
that.
no, no, I'm joking.
Absolutely never. Well, when you're
uh,
when you are on, what types of things do you like to stream?
so when I started stream, my favorite run I did 100% had to be the Soul stream.
Hmm.
So it's like I would do Elden Ring, Dark Souls
Hmm.
1 through 3,
Hmm.
Demon Souls, Sekiro, and all that kind of stuff. So it's like stuff that people would say, "Hey, this is a hard game. It's not meant for like the people like playing casual and all that stuff."
Right.
And me, I'm just a stubborn person, so I'm just like, you know what? Let's try this out and see what happens. And I remember some people would come to my videos or my stream and they'd be like, "Why are you able to turn a Dark Souls game into a calm experience?" I'm like, I don't know. Like most people would be raging and cussing. I'm just sitting here, just like humming a song and
Yeah.
walking through the game.
Did again. Okay, we'll try again.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've played a lot of games where I just kind of get used to it at that point. I'm just like some of the times I've gone through like the Fallout series, and yeah. Well, 5 death claws, you're gonna die. Okay, next up.
Oh,
Very,
give
very
me
quickly.
flashbacks to 4 when I first tried it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, my computer didn't run 4, so it ran up to 3 and New Vegas, which are just about my speed at this point.
Yeah.
And nope, you walk right up to the queen, and you're probably gonna die if you don't have some type of strategy. And like, okay, well, I know not to do that anymore. But then I don't have an audience when I'm doing it. Have you ever thought, gone through a game that you'd be playing and they kind of get lost in it without realizing that? Then suddenly you think, oh, I have chat with me.
Yes, I have done that a few times. So like even when so I do Black Myth Wukong for Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes Cell will join me on BC. And sometimes I'll get so lost into the game. I'm like, oh yeah, Cell's in BC. I have chat. Oh my god.
Oh, hi.
I'm just like, I'm sorry. I went quiet because I was just captivated by some of the scenes.
There's somebody talking. Shh. I'm listening to this. Okay.
I've had that happen. Like I remember one person came into my stream like, "Oh wow, you're one of the quieter ones. Are you not enjoying it?" I'm like, "No, I'm just lost in the game."
So when you're choosing a game to do,
Hmm.
do you choose it based on what you will enjoy or what you think chat will enjoy watching you play, or a combination of both?
So for my Tuesdays, I like doing Souls games, so I try and jump back to that every now and then. So I've
Right.
done like Black Myth, like mentioned earlier. I did Neo. I've done Dark Souls, Elden Ring, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And yes, I have been trying to like mix it up. But I think like yes, choosing a game that chat will enjoy is important. But if you choose a game that you enjoy and you're able to express yourself more, I think chat will enjoy just that much more, in my
Mhm.
opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right on hitting it right on the head there, especially folks who have been around and have enjoyed your stuff in the past, and that's your
Hmm.
there's audiences and then there's audiences.
Yeah.
There are people who show up because they enjoy the game, they enjoy you playing a certain type of game, and then they'll take off. The ones that come back, they're your base, they're your foundation to work with,
Mm.
and they'll come back. Hopefully, if you do a stream of snoring into the microphone, and they'll still, of course, they'll think like, what bit is going on here the whole time? They're sure committed to the bit here. That's when you get the I'm only sleeping streams.
Funny you bring up the whole snoring into the mic. It's more like I've had cases where I've had trouble adjusting the proper position of my mic, and I get too close to people like, you're breathing into the mic, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to turn it into that kind of stream.
It's unintentional ASMR stream.
Yes, I've had that happen, and
Tune into a Donathan stream. You never know when ASMR will break out.
That's definitely happened. Everyone's just like, you're breathing hard. I'm like, I'm not trying to. But not that kind of streamer.
I actually one time in my youth, and the statute of limitations has long since expired since I've done this, but I actually fell asleep on the air doing a weather forecast.
Oh no!
I was so tired. It was a month where I didn't even have a 24-hour time period where I didn't work in that month. And I
Hmm.
did the weather forecast, and bonk. And then I wake up, and I have no idea what people have just heard. I just
I've done the same
I just
thing
know the
too.
microphone is on. I don't know how long I've been out, so I just said the call signs and played the next commercial.
Oh boy, like
Look at the
I've
phone and
had
hope
that
it doesn't
happen
ring.
too. So it's funny you mentioned that. So it's like the person who does my emotes, Pitfin.
Uh-huh.
So she was one of the first people who heard my voice and all that stuff. And I remember I came home from work one day just to join her on stream.
Hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking, I'm having fun. And then a couple of minutes later, I'm like, I'm alone in a VC. And then I realized, oh, I fell asleep. And she's like, you didn't snore yet. You're fine. And I'm like, oh, God, save me. So I probably snored.
In the meantime, 6 or 7 people have jumped in the meantime trying to wake you up. Hello.
Oh, yeah. They created a whole channel just to toss me in. They're like, yeah, you fell asleep.
The napping channel.
Yeah, there's the napping channel.
That's for us old timers. Us real old folks. We're gonna have a napping channel
Oh, yeah.
and a
Just the comfy
yes.
sleep channel.
This is where we go for the naps during the day. Very as comfy as you can get.
This is where the aged people just
Yeah.
end up here. Yes, we're all tired.
Yes, we just have your light music and Perry Como music on it, and we just go to sleep.
Out of doubt.
And that channel shoots up in popularity. It's 1 million people watching at a time. I,
Yeah.
yeah, you can use that one too. You can use that along with the karaoke idea. Um,
Dude, I gotta need to get my sharpener out, burn through the pencil at this rate.
uh, so I mean, obviously you're enjoying yourself with it, and it's a big thing for you. Now that you've done it for a few years,
Hmm.
has it been what what big a piece of your life is it right now?
I was like, if I, when my family goes for trips, so sometimes we'll head out. A
Mm.
small part of me will feel incomplete without streaming because it's like it feels weird to not do it.
Yeah.
It's like it's become such a part of my life where I play games and I'm like, yeah, I'll entertain people with the games I currently have. I'm
Hmm.
like, I have a bucket list, might as well let people enjoy the journey with me.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
So,
and what's the feeling when you know that they are enjoying it with you?
oh, when you see that chat's just going off, making their own jokes, or you're just having fun, like that feeling, it's awesome. You're just like, damn, I'm having this whole thing happen where you're just like, I watch other streamers doing now, and kind of just like, hey, I'm doing it too now.
Yeah, yeah. It's a strange mix of for me when I was doing radio and realized that there are people actually listening to it.
Hmm.
It was a strange mix of pride and fear.
Yeah, because you're just like, did I say something funny? Is
Yeah.
everything going okay?
And
Are they enjoying?
what am I going to do wrong?
For me, I'm just like, my chat even bugs me. Like, if something doesn't go wrong in your stream or you haven't gotten lost at one point, this isn't your stream. I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong.
You're watching the wrong person. That is a great um, relationship to have with your chat though. That
Oh yeah,
that you can kind of like the brother sister mentality there of
yeah,
of being up there, and I would think that type of relationship makes it a little easier to get along with them. Um,
hmm,
and while there's an attachment, there's maybe not an over attachment one way or the other.
yeah,
Um,
hmm,
and I, then and again, whenever I say stuff like this, I always say your mileage may vary as far as goes because people have. That's one of the great things about this medium is everybody has different ways of doing it,
oh
um,
yeah,
and whatever works for them. Um, so having said that, is this the way, what you're doing right now, is this the way it's going to work for you going forward? Or do you have plans to try some other things?
Uh, so like you're talking about like my interaction with chat and all that,
Oh,
correct?
the whole channel, how you're working it.
So I have mentioned this on my stream before. I am trying to transition to days so I can like be awake more and kind of interact with friends because I'm like I've met so many people on this journey. Like
Mhm.
I've seen so many more VTuber couples as well. So it's like I got a chance to meet Magna Tempest. I got a chance to meet Wolfterstart. I hope I pronounce his name right.
Yeah, yeah.
There's also Rand as well, and I'm like,
I'd say
there are
Mike.
all these cool people out there. I want to try and like interacting with them more while also expressing myself.
Oh yeah,
Hmm.
it's really something to be able to interact with people who might be standing upside down from you on the other side of the planet, simply by putting on a headset and turning a microphone on.
Hmm.
That's to for me in radio in the '80s, early '80s. That wasn't happening unless you paid $1 million to Ma Bell and the satellite was in the right place and you patched it through several different phone bays, and then it would sound like garbage to do
Uh,
something like that. And
you
now
say
you
that.
and now you get to do that just by picking up a mic.
I know. I'm like, damn, I get to feel like a whole like podcast myself. I'm just like, this has actually happened.
Yeah, yeah. The world has become so small because of this.
Hmm.
Um,
It has.
and I mean, it's got its bad things, but so good, so much good. And we get to hear from
There's.
people, so many talented people. Um,
Hmm.
in your case, you kind of had a little network going before you got on, but how big is that network gone now that you've done it for a couple of years?
I've I've seen like I've had so many different people I've got a chance to interact with. Like when I started streaming, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna know artists. But no, now I'm come to a point where I know artists, I know animators, I know people who do music, I know people who are engineering backgrounds and all that stuff. And I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
I mean, it's such a bigger space than I thought it was.
yeah.
And I think that's the beauty behind it because there's so many personalities and like what you said, like a small world, right?
Oh yeah, very small now, which is
Mm.
fine because I don't like walking. So
I'm like, fair. I'm like, I need to save money too.
yeah, the smaller world, the better. I don't have to walk so far.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you mentioned the artist stuff. Um, are you an artist yourself?
Oh, I feel like the art stuff went to my sister and my mom, but not me.
One of us. the
I'm
the
like,
we're going to start a group for the entirely art. The folks who are totally unable to create any art form of whatsoever.
oh, that is me. Unless
Yeah.
I have one good day, the
Well.
cell will tell me otherwise. She'd be like, "You can draw. Stop judging yourself." I'm like, I haven't drawn in ages.
Yeah. 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 I every time I try to draw something, lightning hits nearby, so I kind of okay. That's fine. I understand. I know it's but I seriously actually got an F in grade school for an art project I turned in.
Oh, man.
Imagine that for like a 7-year-old turning in a project and you got an F. Like okay,
Man, that's harsh.
okay. I now hate all art. Thank you very much, Teach. It's not quite true. I just hated doing art at that point.
That's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
and also to be fair, it was pretty bad. And it's I let the wife do all of that. She's the creative
Hmm.
one. But
Hmm.
to see so many different styles of art
Yeah.
and so many different instrumentalists I've talked to, even music instrumentalists, people who are producers, people who are DJs, people who are singers and people who play different instruments. We now have this
There's,
chance to hear this. Uh,
yeah.
and 20 years ago, no, there really wasn't any format for it whatsoever. Um, we could talk about it in chat, but it wasn't gonna. it wasn't gonna you weren't able to hear it very much. Um,
Mm,
and you've been able to carve yourself your own niche.
yeah. So
Wow.
like when you talk about like singers, I've had a chance to become friends with people like Lucky at Punch. I've become friends with Phil and Bell,
Mhm.
and hear their singing. I'm like, damn, I'm actually friends with some of these people.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like, it's
yeah.
so cool.
And when
Because
I
it's like when you see like talent
yeah,
that stands out because of how well they do it,
yeah.
you're kind of just in like this surreal state. You're like, damn, I'm actually friends with them.
Oh, well, I do. I've done a couple of music specials now, and people are asking, why are you doing that? I said, well, for one, it reminds me of my old DJ days back in the '80s, and two,
Hmm.
I've talked to so many people who are so talented, and
Yeah.
I want to show them off a little bit and encourage them to keep doing it because there's a lot of ways to discourage people, and people use them every day.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's put a little wind beneath their wings because
Hmm.
I'm greedy and I want to I want more. And the best way to do that is to encourage people to do things like this. Um,
Oh,
and
oh
and
yeah, without a doubt.
and to discourage me from doing it because I haven't hit a note on purpose since 1985. Every once in a while, I'll hit my knee on something, and then I'll give a note. It might not be a good note, but it'll be a note. The lyrics aren't good to the song, I'll tell you that.
Hey, you're nailing the tune. That's all that
That's
matters.
right.
Okay.
That's right. The wife and the cat scattered. They know exactly what's going on. So what have you got planned? Have you got any big things planned for the channel this new year?
So I do have tagged in my Twitter. I have a thing called Project Demon Blood.
Oh,
So with my character, I have the whole demon hunter thing,
right.
and I won't deny this demon blood project is because of Cell,
Hmm.
but the thought process behind it is like, hey, my character's been hunting demons for so long. What would happen if demon blood mixed in with my character and he started becoming the thing he wanted to hunt?
Mm.
So that's where my next model plan is trying to go.
Ah,
Hence,
okay. Is this gonna
yeah,
is this gonna be an alternate timeline, or is it going to be
it
um?
would be the same timeline.
Ah, okay. So,
So it'd be like after years of fighting demons, which I use in reference to Elden Ring and Dark Souls,
of course.
which is actually where my character's outfit comes from. But after years of fighting demons, the blood of all the demons that he has fought has begun to mix with the wounds of the battles he's had,
Hmm.
thus becoming a demon himself or having a demon entity form within him.
Mm.
So it's kind of like I went down that route.
Yeah. Yeah. But every once in a while, the demon will have to be let out.
Yeah, which is
Mm.
kind of what this next model's plan is supposed to be. Because
How?
when I sent you my logo, you saw like a little demon one.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it was teasing at.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw fire. Fire.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch, and it it seems like you just have the personality for this.
Mm. I'm like,
I mean, it,
I didn't think I would, honest. I'm
it
just like, I'm
yeah,
just having fun with it, see what happens.
yeah. I mean, and you didn't even want to talk at first. I mean, just you were just going, going with the whatever the stream was, and not even talking with it. And now it's kind of pulled you in, uh,
Yeah,
and
like,
you're not only are you enjoying it, but you're making future plans for what you want to do with it. So
mm,
sometimes I ask the question, hey, are you where you wanted to be? Are you further than you thought you'd be? But I can't ask it to you because you didn't even think you'd be here.
I didn't think I'd be here. Like, I'm already on the path to 1K, and I was like, huh? I'm like, we're this close already? I thought we were gonna be like 400 and done. I'm like, damn, okay. And I do owe a lot of that growth to Cell
Yeah,
because
I
when she
sell.
first started streaming, yeah, hi, honey, I know you're sleeping. Like, when Cell started, she had a phenomenal growth on Twitter, and I'm just like, honey, how'd you do this? She's
Yeah.
like, oh, I searched up this, this, and this, and I'm like, could you show me how? And because of that, it's like I got to see like so many more friend groups that I have now. So like as mentioned earlier, like Magna,
Yeah.
who we streamed Monster Hunter and Planet Crafter with,
Mhm.
Cab, who we played Pal Worlds with,
Right.
and so many more.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, Cell was a great interview to talk to too.
I was listening to it in
Yeah.
preparation for this too.
Folks,
I was like, what? I'm like, what we asked? Okay, let's watch Cell's interview again.
and you know that you're going to get that treatment back, and you'll be, like, you should have done this, you should have done that.
Oh, she bugs me on things I should do too, because like you should have done this, and I'm like, yeah, I should have.
Well, we'll just save that for the next time we bring you on, because we have to bring you back on here
Oh yeah.
soon. And folks, we're going to have all the links to Jonathan's stuff on the description for the interview, as much as we can find anyway. If you find others that Jonathan doesn't want to bring up, well, you can let me know, and I'll put that there too.
Don't pull up all my hidden links. Like you gotta let me have some privacy.
Well, I mean, there's some.
I'm joking.
There's some links that YouTube won't let me put up there. I found that out the hard way.
Oh yeah, there are certain links.
Yeah, so some of those are
up there.
Some of those are pretty safe, so you don't have to worry about those. The first time I got a letter from YouTube, it said, "You can't do this." I'm like, really? I mean, this is one line, and you're worried about this? And they were. So
yeah,
yes, boss.
YouTube will keep an eye on certain things where you're just like, really?
Yeah. We're a bit too far along the path here now to start carping at YouTube too much.
It's like, listen, YouTube, we joking, okay? Hi.
Nice doggy. Pat them on the head. Jonathan, thank you so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you so much.
Tell Cell hi for me, please. And
I will.
And we'll get you on here real soon. Folks, check out what Jonathan's got going on. You're going to have a lot of fun. We will talk to you again real soon. Thank you for listening to Eric Loy Interviews. Join us again next time when we talk to another member of the always interesting VTuber community.